So, you all saw this. Like, come on. It's like I said in the video, they can, in Harrison Ford movies, I think it was Patriot Games, they got a satellite to zoom in on a pair of tits. And that's the best you've got. But, you know, this is what the rest of us thought. Iran is going to attack us, even if we have to do it ourselves. Iranian passport found. You know, this is, they lie, the Americans lie into war every single time. It's 100% foolproof. They lie into war. It's false flags every time. It's lies into war. And they're doing it again. Well, look at this. Come on. That's my take on it. That's the equivalent of what they were saying. That's the evidence they provided that it was Iran. Well, our Foreign Secretary, and maybe next Prime Minister, 0.18% of the population of the United Kingdom is going to choose that. Nice one. Well, he thinks it's enough for a war with Iran. Britain would consider joining the United States military assault on Iran. Jeremy Hunt. Based on that. You know, because Iraq was such a roaring success for Tony Blair. Let me tell you just how, as I understand it, how bad getting involved with a war on Iran would be. Okay? Because, first of all, the price of oil would go through the roof. Because 30% of all shipped oil goes through that region that is just to the south of Iran's border in the Strait of whatever it's called. And those tankers would be set on fire, which would send the price of oil through the roof. Which is, if there's one thing that's going to piss off an American with a 5-litre Ford pickup that does 6 miles to the gallon, it's the price of oil going up. And if the price of oil goes up, the president's approval rating goes down. Trust me. I was there in 2008. I saw George Bush and what had happened to him because of the price of oil going up. And that was just to, what was it, $3.67 a gallon or something like that at the time. They were screaming, Americans were. Can you imagine if it went up to $36 an hour? A gallon, rather? Honestly, it really could. And it's not just the amount of fires that would be in the Strait of Hormuz or whatever it's called. There would be fires all over the planet. All over the planet. People would be, you know, very, very upset. And if you think for a second, Jeremy Hunt, where are you? Here he is. If you think for a second that Iran's wrath wouldn't be turned on Great Britain, then you're sadly mistaken, because we started this. We. When I say we, I mean we, the United Kingdom, Great Britain. Not we, me and you. No, the country. We started this with the overthrow of Mohammad Mossadegh in 1953. It was Winston Churchill, remember, that was pissed off with Mossadegh. It was Winston Churchill that went to Truman and asked them to help overthrow this guy who had won a democratic election and brought democracy to Iran and wanted to, you know, have his country profit from the oil that his country sat on rather than the British Empire and Winston Churchill thousands of miles away, who had their Anglo-Iranian oil company there, who were making out like bandits while the country suffered. We started this. Truman told Winston Churchill no. He had to wait for Ike Eisenhower to come in. Ike Eisenhower. to come in and give him his coup. And we overthrew Mossadegh. We, as in the United Kingdom, Britain, and along with the United States in 1953, which led to 26 years of brutal oppression for the people of that country, eventually which ended with the Iranian Revolution, the revolution in Iran in 1979, which is where all Americans and seemingly all British outlets want to start their history lesson. Go look it up. If you don't believe me, just type in Operation Ajax. There's a Wikipedia page for it, for Christ's sake. 1953. And if ever any publication out there wants to start the history of Iran and the United States, or the history of Iran and the United Kingdom any later than 1953, you tell them to go fly a kite. Because it's just not the truth. We started this with Churchill. Do you think that Jamie Hunt saying that, hey, Britain will jump in with the US in a war against Iran, do you think that's going to make the Iranians happy? Remember, Jamie Hunt is saying we're going to go to war with Iran, or we could, based on the equivalent of that evidence. Nobody believes outside the Pentagon and GCHQ. If this was to happen, and if Jamie Hunt was to, join in with America and go to war with Iran, I can guarantee you this. Terrorist incidents in the United Kingdom will go through the roof. There will be fires all over the country. Well, my words, there will. And in America too. And this is why it pisses me off so much when Labour go on the defence and Jeremy Corbyn goes on the defence when they call him, an Assad apologist and a Putin puppet. It's the Conservatives who are weak on foreign policy. It's the Conservatives who are weak on war. It's the Conservatives who are weak on terrorism. Why? They fund it. They fund it. And then when it will come over to our shores, because we're pissing countries off in the Middle East that we have no business anywhere near. The only reason we're there is because we're the United States lapdogs, we're their poodles. And that's who we are in the United Kingdom. Isn't it about time that, we had somebody in office that actually took responsibility for our mistakes throughout history? The Tories are weak on terrorism. They're going to bring it to our shores if they go to war with Iran. Make no bones about it. He's going to bring it here, and then once he's brought the terrorism here, Jamie Hunt and the Tories, I'm not saying Boris Johnson wouldn't do this, he probably would without realising it, let's face it. But once they've done that, and they've brought the terrorism here, then they're going to use that as even more of an excuse to silence us and to use the threat as more minutes of hate to try and con you into voting against your best interests. Don't let them do it, and don't let Jamie Hunt do it, for Christ's sake. If you really want to know what Jamie Hunt is like as a person, as a man, as a politician, go ask 82,000 junior doctors what they think of him.